Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Sarah shocked as Xander cuffed Harris's a medical procedure result. Days of Our Lives uncovers that Wendy Shin talked with Rafe Hernandez and Jada Tracker about Ava Vitali essentially conceding the bistro was engaged with something risky. Because of what befell Harris Michaels, Wendy felt like she ought to spill what she knew, so she confessed about Ava's dubious way of behaving and how Stefan DiMera appeared to be messed up in this. Wendy had doubts about keeping an eye on Trip Johnson's mom when Rafe requested that she be his eyes and ears, however she at last concurred. Also brought by Officer Goldman was a burner phone that one of the police units found in a dumpster near the bistro. Wendy used her technical skills to see if she could get any information on it. At the Kiriakis' house on Tuesday's Days episode, Julie Williams and Chad DiMera offered their thanks to Maggie Kiriakis for opening her home to them. Doug Williams was higher up with Thomas DiMera and Charlotte DiMera since he would have rather not walked out on them while they rested. Julie thought about how the Horton house fire might have occurred, so Chad said it was all his shortcoming and made sense of the twisted call that expressed, "Perhaps in the future, you'll tune in." Chad felt like Clyde Weston was fighting back over the story that he distributed and indicated that there may be a method for unblocking the number he got the call from. Julie suddenly erupted over Chad not treating the danger in a serious way, but rather she immediately quieted down and understood the fault had a place on Clyde rather than Chad. Maggie insisted that they would all live there while Julie rebuilt brick by brick, despite Julie's concerns about the location. After Jada Tracker enlightened Rafe concerning Harris concealing Lucas Horton, Brian DiTillo, at his condo, Chad appeared and offered news on the fire. Rafe understood that was 3 occurrences this evening that were associated with being associated with Clyde, so he took Chad's telephone to examine and guaranteed they'd nail the person. Ava feared she would never get a chance to tell Harris how much she loved him at the hospital DOL show in the waiting room. Stefan inquired as to why Ava took care of business with him, so Ava was dismayed over the inquiry and posed to him exactly the same thing prior to concluding she would have rather not known. In spite of the fact that Ava felt like they needed to close down Clyde down, Stefan cautioned about the risk to their loved ones most. Kayla Johnson figured out how to get Harris stable enough for a medical procedure, so she gave Ava and Stefan reports on the slug evacuation and Harris's imploded lung. There was additionally critical inside dying, so Harris would need to be observed intently. The following 24 hours were critical when it came to knowing whether Harris would get through this emergency. Ava was contacted to learn she was Harris's crisis contact and ultimately sat with oblivious Harris for a couple of moments. After Ava proclaimed her affection, she pushed Harris to battle his direction back to her. Official Phillips kept watch at the medical clinic, where he continued to investigate at Stefan dubiously. Stefan additionally appeared to be tense while Ava was visiting Harris's bedside. Back at the police headquarters on Tuesday's Days episode, Wendy got a hit on the burner telephone from the dumpster and flaunted the disclosure she'd made to Rafe as well as Jada. When they got the warrant, Official Goldman conveyed it and had a second where she frowned like she was sore. Jada inquired as to whether Official Goldman was all right, however she recently guaranteed that she went overboard at the rec center. At the point when Xander Cook returned home to Sarah Horton, he indeed avoided her endeavors at Energy and cleaned up. Sarah in the long run joined Xander, who advised her that they said they planned to take things slow. After Sarah demanded they could accept things as delayed as Xander needed, they without a doubt had a sluggish and hot meeting in the shower together. A short time later on Tuesday's Days episode, Sarah and Xander took things to the room, where they conceded they actually cherished one another and never halted. They cuddled and savored the feeling of being back in each other's arms as soon as Xander and Sarah got into bed. Sarah additionally referenced the unusual text Xander got that inquired as to whether it was finished, however he appeared to be confused and thought it was weird, as well. Before long, Rafe and Jada burst in with reinforcement, so Xander was captured while a stunned Sarah looked on. As Jada handcuffed Xander to the floor in his underwear, Victoria Horton-Cook wept in the other room. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Xander should guard his honesty, so remain tuned to DOL. Maggie plays legend, Xander addressed, communicating something specific. Days of Our Lives demonstrate that Julie Williams and her family need a legend and Maggie Kiriakis is there. Sarah Horton will have a few inquiries for Xander Cook, particularly in the wake of seeing that instant message. Clyde Weston is not finished sending a message. What other damaging plans does Clyde have for Salem? The Horton house fire leaves its occupants destitute. The fire at the Horton house has left Julie, Doug Williams, Chad DiMera and his youngsters destitute. Julie needs a legend and Maggie is not too far off to safeguard the family. Maggie will propose to move everybody into the Kiriaki's house until Julie and her family find some solution for their home and all the other things they need. Days of Our Lives uncover assuming any of the Horton house is salvageable. Although a lot of memories and treasures were lost in that house, it appears that the fire may have destroyed most of it, requiring Julie to rebuild her family home. Julie not set in stone to figure out who was behind this misfortune and make them pay. Will Chad inform the authorities that Clyde started the fire? Days of Our Lives, where has Xander Cook been? Sarah had a go at all that she could imagine to keep Xander at home, yet he demanded he expected to go for a run. Sadly, Xander left behind his phone, and Sarah saw the text asking if anything had been done. Xander committed to Sarah that he could at absolutely no point ever do anything unlawful in the future. Did Xander break his guarantee to Sarah? Sarah realizes that Xander loves their little girl and wouldn't risk losing her. Nonetheless, spoilers propose that Harris Michaels could erroneously distinguish Xander as his shooter. DOL Maggie plays the hero, Xander asks questions, and a message: is Sarah going to believe Xander or Harris? How will this new issue treat Sarah's endeavor to rejoin with Xander? Will surveillance cameras clear Xander's name? DOL Clyde Weston shows that he really means business. Clyde called Chad, of course, in a distorted voice, and said that he was behind the actions that caught Salem off guard. Chad will surely feel regretful that he is at fault for his family's misfortune. Chad's child getting some information about his mom's photos will surely hit Chad hard. Can Chad ever atone for this in front of Julie and Doug? In the meantime, Stefan DiMera and Ava Vitali will cover their tracks to attempt to avoid inconvenience. Ava figured Harris would have the option to safeguard them, yet presently he has been shot. Ava and Stefan additionally have no clue about that Wendy Shin has come to Jada Tracker and Ray Fernandez with her doubts. Are Ava and Stefan in the clear? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update. Maggie Asylums, Wendy's tip, Clyde's messages, Sarah's conflict. Days of Our Lives uncover that Maggie Horton Kiriakis. Days of Our Lives features Wendy Shin informs the police regarding Ava Vitali's way of behaving. Ava and Stefan DiMera reel over Clyde Weston's lethal messages. Additionally, Sarah Horton faces Xander Cook. Days of Our Lives, Maggie Horton Kiriakis Asylums. DOL uncover that the Horton house is gone because of a pyromaniac. Doug Williams, Julie Williams, Chad DiMera, Thomas DiMera, and Charlotte DiMera are protected. Be that as it may, they presently have no spot to remain. Days of Our Lives, Maggie Sanctuaries, Wendy's tip, Clyde's messages, Sarah's conflict. Fortunately, Maggie plunges in to give some assistance. Maggie welcomes Doug, Julie, Chad, and the DiMera kids to remain with her. DOL Wendy Shin's tip. Fans can anticipate that Wendy should converse with Ray Fernandez and Jada Tracker about Harris Michaels. Following the shooting, Trip Johnson frantically attempted to save Harris's life. Obviously, the superb suspects are Ava and Stefan. Thus, Wendy will tell Rafe and Jada her doubts with respect to Ava's way of behaving. Additionally, Red Week After Week update, Nicole's Wonder, Everett's twofold date, saving Harris, proposition disarray. Fans realize that Ava didn't shoot Harris. The facts really confirm that Ava is associated with Clyde's medication ring, yet by pressure. All in all, what will Wendy's tip to the police mean for her sentiment with Trip? While Trip could definitely disapprove of his mom, he is likewise defensive of her. Days of Our Lives, Clyde Weston's destructive messages. Days of Our Lives uncover that Ava and Stefan will be stunned by Clyde finishing his aggressive messages. Besides the fact that the Horton house was set ablaze and Harris shot, however, somebody attempted to accept out Lucas Horton too. After the children mentioned losing Abigail DiMera's photographs, Chad received a chilling phone call from Clyde.